We got a continuation of another video. It's called Weirdest Crimes of 2024.
Representatives with California's Palo Alto police say they dealt with quite the bizarre vehicle theft case last week after a woman allegedly stole a delivery van full of packages, but her motive apparently had nothing to do with the merchandise inside. The whole thing started at around 3:30 p.m. on February 22nd when Palo Alto police received a call from an Amazon delivery driver. The man said that he had been completing his rounds in the 400 block of West Charleston Road when suddenly his van had been stolen. Specifically, the man said that while making a delivery to a house, he had momentarily hopped out of his gray Ford van, leaving the vehicle on and the keys in the ignition. He returned just in time to see a woman driving away, pulling a U-turn in the vehicle and heading south. He said the van was filled with undelivered packages. Thanks to tracking technology in the vehicle, police were quickly able to get on the phone with Amazon dispatchers who were able to provide them with the van's real-time location. Officers followed the stolen vehicle as it bizarrely headed to the parking lot of an Amazon facility in the city of San Jose. That's where they arrested the suspect, 36-year-old Elena Flores. All of the merchandise was apparently accounted for. Following her arrest, Flores claimed that she was never actually trying to steal anything. She said she, quote, just needed to get back to San Jose, and that was the reason she took the van. At the time of this recording, Flores is facing multiple charges, including felony vehicle theft and for committing a felony while out on bail.
She was out on bail? Oh my god. Couldn't she just have walked to San Jose if she could have called a lift to San Jose? But come on now.
Authorities in the city of Ashtabula, Ohio, say that a pair of women are now facing felony charges this week after they allegedly used a dead man to fraudulently withdraw money from a bank in what has been described as a Weekend at Bernie's style theft scheme. According to reports, the whole thing started sometime on the morning of March 4th when 55-year-old Laureen Ferrallo and 63-year-old Karen Kasbaum awoke to find that Karen's 80-year-old boyfriend, Douglas Lehman, whom they lived with, was dead. Rather than calling 911 or otherwise reporting the death, though, police...
Pause. They don't look 50 or 60, 63, I think he said. They look 70. One looks 70 and one looks 80. They don't look their age at all. That's bad.
Police allege that the women loaded him into the passenger seat of his car and headed out for a drive. Their destination? Douglas's bank. Upon arriving at the bank, the women went to the drive-through window where they made sure to prop up the 80-year-old's body to make it look like he was still alive. This apparently fooled the teller, who allowed them to withdraw $900 from Douglas's account. To their credit, this was reportedly not the first time the women had withdrawn money from the account. In the past, they had been allowed to do so as long as Douglas was present in the vehicle. After successfully getting the cash, Ferrallo and Kasbaum reportedly drove to the nearby Ashtabula County Medical Center emergency room where they promptly dumped the 80-year-old's body. Workers there apparently had no idea who he was until one of the women called the hospital later to give them some personal information. After launching an investigation, police uncovered the scheme and arrested Ferrallo and Kasbaum. They have each now been charged with theft and gross abuse of a corpse. A third person was also allegedly involved in the incident, though it's unclear if they have yet been arrested. According to police, this is far from Ferrallo and Kasbaum's first offense. Both of the women have lengthy criminal histories that include convictions for charges such as theft, soliciting, criminal trespass, receiving stolen property, possession of drug paraphernalia, and reckless assault.
Oh, that's why they did that.
Authorities in Lee County, Florida say that a 22-year-old woman is facing charges this week following a bizarre incident in which she allegedly broke into her ex-boyfriend's home, destroyed a bunch of his stuff, and assaulted him with a bottle of soda. According to reports, the whole thing began on the night of March 1st when the Lee County Sheriff's Office received a call from the victim, who has not been identified by name. The man said that his ex-girlfriend, 22-year-old Akivia Reddick, had broken into his apartment using a hidden key outside and was now causing chaos inside. When a deputy arrived at the scene to investigate, he found the victim outside his apartment complex in the community of Lehigh Acres being chased by Reddick. The officer intervened, though not before the 22-year-old was captured in body cam footage throwing a 2-liter bottle of Sprite at him. According to the boyfriend, this wasn't the only food-related damage that Reddick had done either. He claimed that when she had broken in earlier and started breaking things, she had poured an entire jar of pickled pork on his couch. Reddick was arrested at the scene and has now been charged with battery, burglary, and criminal mischief. It's unclear why she was so angry at her ex.
Crazy ass forehead. She got a crazy ass forehead. Look at them eyes. Them eyes look crazy, bro.
Authorities in Jefferson County, Kentucky say that a 21-year-old man is facing charges after he recently tried to pull off a strange crime in which he attempted to pay for a luxury vehicle with a clearly fraudulent check at a car dealership, then became increasingly belligerent when employees refused to give him one. According to reports, the whole thing took place sometime in the middle of February when 21-year-old Connor Litka walked into Bluegrass Motorsport in the Louisville suburb of St. Matthews. Litka said that he was interested in purchasing a Porsche, and after pointing to a specific vehicle, pulled out his preferred method of payment, a clearly fraudulent check for $78 million. Understandably, the employees at the dealership weren't born yesterday, so they told the 21-year-old they weren't going to be selling him anything and asked him to leave. Seemingly unwilling to accept that his harebrained scheme wasn't going to work, Litka only became more aggressive at this point and reportedly walked to the dealership's parts department. He told workers there that he was, quote, looking for keys, and said he wasn't going to leave until he got his vehicle. Police were called, and Litka was arrested and later charged with criminal trespassing and disorderly conduct. Perhaps the most bizarre thing about the whole story, though, is that this apparently wasn't the first time the 21-year-old had done this. Literally the day before, he allegedly attempted a nearly identical stunt at a Land Rover dealership. The only difference was that that time, his check was only made out for $12 million. The owners of a New Jersey convenience store were left feeling rather salty this week, or should we say briny, after a man ruined an entire barrel of their deli pickles by inexplicably dunking his head inside of them. According to reports, the whole thing happened one day last week at a Heritage's dairy store in the town of Glassboro. An employee said that he was working at the register when he saw a young man enter the store. The next thing he knew, he heard a splash that he described as sounding like someone jumping into a pool. When he went to investigate, he saw the young man from before speed walking out of the business with his head dripping wet. There was also now pickle juice all over the floor. Piecing everything together, he realized what had happened. For some unknown reason, the man had dunked his head into the store's deli barrel of pickles. Understandably, this was unsanitary to say the least, meaning that the store had to throw out the whole barrel. They estimated that only a couple of pickles had been purchased at the time the barrel was opened, meaning that nearly the entire $52 barrel was wasted. The situation was reported to police, who put out a message about the bizarre crime to the public. In it, they said that they were seeking to identify the man responsible, writing, quote, sometimes there are no appropriate words for the actions one takes. This gentleman decided to walk into Heritage's and dunk his head in the large bin of pickles, which caused the store to have to remove them for sale. We are withholding the video since he was apparently videoing the incident himself with his cell phone, probably for likes, and we do not want to give him more attention than he deserves. Though the man's name was never released, apparently he did turn himself in the next day. It's unclear where the case will go from here, though police thanked the public for their help in an updated post that read, quote, we certainly relish the community's help in bringing attention to the pickle we were in yesterday. If you thought this week's crime stories couldn't get any stranger, well, we've got something to round out today's extended edition that we would argue tops them all. Seriously, this dude makes Pickle Guy look like a downright responsible member of society. Even weirder, it's not so much what he did, it's his name. Police in Green Bay, Wisconsin say that a routine call took a surprising turn this week when they responded to a domestic dispute, only to find that their suspect had a rather unique first name. According to reports, it all started on the night of March 5th when officers were called to a residence on East Walnut Street. They arrived to find a very drunk and very combative 42-year-old man who had allegedly assaulted his daughter and her boyfriend, who also lived there. Apparently, the 42-year-old became angry that his daughter wasn't doing household chores and taking care of their puppies, and after having too much alcohol, had flown into a drunken and shirtless rage, one in which he allegedly punched and shoved the victims, and at one point also waved around a BB gun. Thankfully, police were able to de-escalate the situation and place the 42-year-old under arrest, at which point they learned his identity. Legally, the father's name was D's Nuts. D's Nuts Kroll, to be more specific.
Alright.
Apparently, the 42-year-old was born.
I wish to change my name to D's Nuts Lee Croyle. It was not spelled right. Oh my god, bro. These people over here are stupid.
Derek Kroll, but for some unknown reason had it changed in 2011. Well, actually, first his name was Des Nuts because he misspelled it. He had it corrected to D's Nuts officially in 2017. The whole thing led to this gem of a line in this week's police report.
D's Nuts appeared highly intoxicated.
Quote, D's Nuts appeared to be highly intoxicated. The 42-year-old is now facing misdemeanor charges of battery and disorderly conduct and was released the following day after posting $1,000 bond.
Who is bonding these people out? These nuts. Oh my god.
I'm on major drugs. We can't rob the plug. Someone touch that man and he'll be dodging us. Gotta get that fix. Drowning in the six. Why they dissing tricks? I get high up fit. I'm gon' put the gang onto some bread before a bitch. I'm probably gon' pass the ball before I make a hit. She know my name on wait inside the streets, a nigga lit. She know I got it all, she wanna live just like a kid. But I can't take no chance with no bitch that make me sick. I came in with bands and the sticks and on my hip. Take a perk, I'm blasting